Hi again. I'm Dave Gibson for Third Wednesday Magazine with another recorded reading by one of our contributors with a new book on offer. Tonight we'll hear from Buff Whitman-Bradley, a favorite of Third Wednesday readers. His new book from Finishing Line Press is A Friendly Little Tavern Somewhere Near the Pleiades. Buff's poems have appeared in many print and online journals. He podcasts at thirdactpoems.podbean.com. He lives with his wife, Cynthia, in Northern California. And now here is Buff Whitman-Bradley. Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Hello. Hello. Thank you for looking in on this. I'm going to be reading some poems from my new book, um, A Friendly Little Tavern Somewhere Near the Pleiades. It was published by Finishing Line Press in December of 2024. The first poem I'm going to read is it's where I got the title for the poem. It's called Somewhere Near the Pleiades. When we die, and all our thoughts become suddenly unhoused, set free to wander aimlessly all over the planet, probably all over the cosmos. Will they grow morose, being on their own without a cabeza full of other cerebrations to interact with? Will they become disheartened when they encounter the throngs of wandering cogitations that have been left with no fixed abode and are knocking about looking for someone, anyone, to listen to what they have to say? Or will they, after time, begin to fade, to become hazy and translucent, unable to recall exactly what point it was they meant to get across? And will they find their way at last to that friendly little tavern somewhere near the Pleiades, where retired notions and concepts, ideas, fancies, speculations, hypotheses come together, no longer trying to impress anyone with how brilliant or insightful they are, but simply to enjoy each other's company, feeling quite relieved that they have nothing left to prove. This next poem is called All Day the Cows. All day the cows stand in the field, their great bulk holding the ground in place so it does not rise into the air and drift away. At night, the cows return to the farmyard and the barn, and freed of all that weight, the pasture lifts gently off the earth with a soft, ripping sound, like strips of Velcro pulling apart. Ascends in the moonlight to hover above the windbreak poplars beyond the fences, and is blown about hither and yon by the evening winds. The cows sense the pasture's departure in the darkness and murmur nervously amongst themselves about what fate may await them. But by morning, the field has settled back into its patch of landscape as if it had never been gone. The dewy grasses are fresh and doubly delicious, and the cows have become optimists again, happily grazing and gossiping on a piece of ground that might have landed anywhere, but wound up coming home. This poem is called Tomorrow's Grasses. Two horses are grazing in a broad field of winter grasses. One of the horses is a chestnut, the other is dark brown. They are standing far apart from each other. The air is cold and damp. The sky is growing dark. Neither horse seems in a hurry to finish eating and head back to the stables at the close of day. The trees at the edge of the field have lost all their leaves. With their limbs bared, they look quite formidable. They might be sentries guarding a nighttime bivouac, making certain no unwanted intruders cross the perimeter. The horses seem to trust them to be vigilant, allowing them to continue grazing without fear of interruption by coyotes or wolves. Soon it will be completely night. The difference in color of the two horses is gradually disappearing. They will become dusky shapes walking slowly through the darkness to their stalls, where they will spend the chilly night bedded in new straw, listening to the quiet talk of owls and the midnight whisperings of tomorrow's tender grasses. This poem is called My New Swiss Army Knife. Praise be to the goodly Swiss Army knife, for its uses are as numerous as sparrows in a winter field. For it cuts through apples and cheeses and all manner of ropes and twines and cardboard containers. For it opens tins and flicks off bottle caps. For it screws and unscrews in two languages, both slotted and Phillips. For it has a long blade and a short blade artfully shaped to points sharp with purpose and potential. For it pierces leather to create holes in belts and watch bands, for it includes excellent scissors of unlimited possibility, from snipping tags off newly purchased clothing to trimming the hair of old men's ears. For its tweezers remove splinters, and its toothpick supports dental hygiene. For it boasts a well-tempered and sturdy utility hook to hook utilities. For its design is both pragmatic and aesthetically pleasing. For it shines like a ruby of great price. For with this splendid polypragmatic tool tucked in my pocket, I am ready, willing, and able to slice and dice, to carve out a niche, to cut the mustard. For it is the gleaming realization of my boyhood cutlery dreams. This poem is for a friend of mine who died last year in 2024, a dear, dear old friend. And it's called Your Name, for Rod Anderson, 1937 to 2024. If you lead an exemplary life and play your cards right, a distant galaxy may name one of its constellations after you, or a great river may bestow your name on one of the streams that form its headwaters. When this happens, your entire life will be exactly as it was before. Astronauts will not map interstellar journeys using your name as a reference point. Grammar school children will not read your name in their geography books. And when you die, your passing will not be noted by anyone other than those who knew you when you were not yet a flashing rivulet, a grouping of stars, and who will miss your presence because of how graciously you flowed among us, how unfailingly you shone. And this is a poem for his wife, another dear, dear friend. It's called After His Funeral. After his funeral, when the large vases of flowers have been distributed to various family members and friends, when the platters of homemade cookies and brownies and lemon bars and pound cake have been emptied and wiped clean, when the coffee urn has been rinsed out and returned to its cupboard, when the photo boards have been packed into the back seats and trunks of his grown children's cars, when the songs his grandchildren sang in delicate and tearful harmonies are quietly repeating themselves in the inner ears of departing mourners, then the family goes back to the home where they have often come together when he was alive to sing and grieve and laugh and weep and stitch a counterpane of memories and stories that will cover them all. To finish the heaps of food neighbors have been dropping off every day, stuffing themselves silly with casseroles and lasagnas and baked beans, until all the empty plates and bowls are piled high in the sink. Stomachs are full, broken hearts grow drowsy, and grief rolls up her sleeves to wash the dishes and straighten up the house. And this last one I'm going to read is called The Côte de Jour. You would not believe how much time I spend every day getting older. A rough estimate, 100% of my waking and sleeping hours. Fortunately, I have found ways of fitting other endeavors into the small cracks between episodes of decline. I manage to read a good book now and then, to take a fine walk in the hills, to play silly games with our granddaughters. And when I do that, I experience a momentary rush of optimism as everything seems to be going along swimmingly. Bodily deterioration on hold, mental acuity in peak condition, reflexes sharp, pain subsiding in every precinct. But alas, it is a fleeting instant of false hope. For after a bad night's sleep, aging reappears in all its fanged ferocity, like a steroidal neo-colonialist intent upon reoccupying my body and mind, subduing my spirit, multiplying my miseries, and reminding me that this bus goes in only one direction. And while it may wind me through some gorgeous countryside with spectacular scenery, I am fully aware of its final destination, and it ain't the Côte d'Azur. All right, that's it. I really appreciate this opportunity from Third Wednesday to read these poems and to have any folks who are looking in to look in. And the book is again called A Friendly Little Tavern Somewhere Near the Pleiades, and it's from Finishing Line Press. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Buff. Once again, you've been listening to Buff Whitman-Bradley. My name is Dave Gibson from Third Wednesday Magazine. I hope you enjoyed our program. Please join us again next time. Goodbye.